Hello, welcome to my tube. Salutations and greetings. I'm Marge. Or Margie. Maybe Margaret in about 25 years. If I'm given that long. I'm a Heyoka empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. Today was a pretty okay day. It's not over yet. It's about 6:30 Mountain Time. I think we're in, Ma. I think we're in Mountain Time. I don't know. I can't keep track. I think we're done moving though. Time zones. We've lived in 3 the last 5 years, and we're tired, huh, Ma? We kind of go where God wants us, and right now God wants us right here in close proximity to Wheeler Peak, the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, Blood of Christ Mountains, northern New Mexico. It's an Amber Alert today. See, people got yeah. Well, this one was a custody suit, but if you care about someone and love somebody, don't let them go nowhere without letting you know where they're going. And it ain't that world anymore, folks. It's a much, much different world. I read an article today on I was just dancing before this song I started doing this talk. I highly recommend this album and this Leo Loa song. I came across this about 4 years ago, right around the same time Mom got a DNA test, and it was discovered we have indigenous to America in us. And I came across this just by happenstance, and boo! DNA activated. Now that's what's happening to a lot of folks, because people don't recognize. We are our ancestors. My ancestors are counting on me to always speak for truth and to be a good little Heyoka and get people to think. They don't have to agree with me, just get them to think that there's other ways of thinking. I don't know if the world was ever really a safe place, but because of my path that God has put me on, and my closeness and my reliance on Him, I found security within me. And I look around the world and I see all the people that make millions and billions of dollars based on a lie of trying to sell security, when really security is all done inside. Nobody out here is going to make you secure. You got to do it yourself. I know it's hard. I know it's scary. Every bad day you've gotten through up until now, right? And you did that within the strength of yourself. Imagine what you can do. She got to go walk around? All right. So, read an article today. It was, let's see if I just kind of cruise different Reuters, MS. I don't go to like NBC, CNN, any of those. I pretty much have like 3, and then they're just gonna, the other ones are gonna have their twist on it. But gives me an idea of the collective and where people are at and whatnot. And where was it? And now I'm not gonna be able to find it. I was looking for the. I'm trying to find Northern Exposure. I want to go back. I want to go back and rewatch that series. I used to watch those in high school, and that's one of the reasons why. For a while I wanted to live in Alaska. For me, man. And then I went up there when I was in the Air Force. 2 times I went up there. One time it was like November, and the other time it was December. So we're dealing with like the dusk for 4 hours a day and stuff. And it's just such military is all misappropriation of funds, man. That's another racket, man. It's another racket. It's all records for people figuring it out. Anyway, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. I did send, actually, let me go to my mail because I sent a photo. Hundreds of bodies discovered under Rhode Island highway in search for gravesite. A Rhode Island woman's search for her relative's displaced gravesite led to a discovery of nearly 1,000 people buried beneath a local highway in an unmarked mass grave containing hundreds of bodies. Okay, what about the rest of the 799,200? You know, this is, everybody's going to experience a great awakening in their own way. Not everybody's going to awaken the same way. You know, my great awakening is going to be different than my buddies. You know, it's because we got different placements and we got different life lessons to learn. Everybody's going to have their chance. And a lot of people, they're going to wake up to seeing that where their luxury in life has come from. And that they are living in the lap of luxury without carefree, based on a lot of harm caused to people. And that's one of the things that people are going to be waking up to. 800,000 people a year go missing. And I'm pretty sure that the government is still, using their social security numbers as accountable for demographics, and we need this much billions of dollars to support this many people. Well, there ain't that many people there. But you guys still sure act like there are, huh? So, today, full moon's in Aries. I'm all kinds of fired up. I've been fired up all day. I haven't even been doing the flower today. I got too much energy, and I'm already up here, so this is like, woo, I'm not like, I'm going to be able to go in and go to lay down and go to sleep. I'm not going to be up all night looking for something to do and nothing like that, That's because I went out today and I knew what this energy was going to be all about. I'm like, all right, let's do as much chores and errands as we possibly, and I went down to the coffee shop for about a half hour. I was kind of worried about Mom's foot, but I got a remedy. See, I figured out when it started, I had changed her futon mattress around. And what that does is it changed the position of how she sleeps. Her feet were like up higher, and then when I moved it around, her feet went low. So, and she doesn't move around when she sleeps. You don't move around a lot when you sleep, Ma. You wake up in the same position you go to sleep in. It's kind of cool. I wish I could do that. I cannot. So what I did was I put a pillow under the mattress last night, and then I got a bigger pillow for her to sit up on and changed her posture. So when she woke up this morning, she didn't have the swelling in her feet. It still was like a little uncomfortable, and we're still doing our exercises. We're still taking all of our vitamins. We're being consistent in that. And then with that, so she is more comfortable. Although, when the sun came up this morning, there was some clouds passing. So it made everything extra cozy. So she didn't get up and out of bed until, I don't know, I left to go to the coffee shop about 10:30. And she was like, I'm just relaxing. I'm like, all right, Mom. Live it up, Mom. That's all I'm here to do, is to provide comfort to them. Yeah. To anybody I come across, really. I don't try to make things uncomfortable for people. I'm just me. How people respond to me is more of a reflection of them than me, I'd say. I went to the grocery store today, and I went to Wally World earlier looking for Caro's corn syrup because I made candy caramels today. I'm so excited about those. I've been wanting to learn how to make those for about a year and a half now, and I did it. I did it today, and they're pretty okay, except I forgot vanilla in the last step. So they'll be better next time, but for my first time, I'm pretty satisfied. So it didn't turn out crappy. That's all I care about. And hey, Stanley, how you doing, Stanley? Cute as can be, Stanley. And then they didn't have any Wally World, and there's ever since I've lived here, we've been here about a year now, almost, and nearabouts, coming up on December 10th, and there's stuff been off the shelf, but I've been tracking supply chain issues for 20 years since I was in the Air Force. I've been tracking that. And so this is nothing new. It's just, it's like, it seems to me like the stuff that's happened to me like 4 or 5 years ago is kind of what other people are starting to experience now. Like when I couldn't get a job, and then I was determined that I shouldn't leave mom. It wasn't a good idea for too long, and so I was made to go within. That's when my quarantine started, kind of. I mean, I'd go to the grocery store and the laundromat. That was my highlight. My friend Pam works at the laundromat, so I get to hang out with the buddy there. But not a lot of, and I've always gone on adventures and stuff, but life changes, circumstance change, and we gotta adapt and, accept and maintain positivity, because people start, living in that resentment. I didn't want to do that. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. That's all ego stuff. And in order for this planet to ascend in 5D, people gotta freaking do less of that and more of this. Ain't that right, Ma? So, that's when my going within, and I started meditating heavy. I started meditating when I lived in Omaha, but I started hitting it heavy when I lived at Salem, and so I really started leveling up, and well, things change, life happens, and here we are. So, but we always have everything we need. And that's why I don't like to take the last of anything. I like to leave one for someone else if there's something left. Because that to me, because whenever I do that, it's a balance thing. I don't know. It's like universe is like, all right, that's cool. Because there's been a lot of times I've got the last of something. So I don't know. I used to be a lot more selfish. I used to be way, way, way more selfish. That's why I know that people can degrade. They can. They can step more into their spirit. Yeah. Live different than they've ever lived before. Today, when I went to the market, because they didn't have any at Wally World, so I had to go up to Smith's, and I was so excited. There was a lady standing in front of the shelf, and it was like by the malto meal and stuff, like oatmeal and stuff like that is where it was on the bottom shelf. It wasn't over by the baking supplies, which kind of stumped me. But so I was over by the baking supplies. I couldn't, and I'm like, why isn't it here? And then I went around the corner, and I looked down at the bottom, and I was like, whoopee! In the grocery store, and the lady kind of, and I was like, don't mind me. I'm just super excited that they have this here. And so, when I left, when I walked in, I saw a guy with a backpack. And when I left, see, I feel compelled. Spirit moves me, and I feel compelled. So, every now and again when I go to Wally World, I'll get 2-3 sleeping bags and throw them in the back of the minivan. And some hammocks. And when I was leaving the store, I saw this guy who was still sitting there. He's sitting in the sun. And there's always somebody sitting in this spot at the grocery store, whether somebody's on break or they're in his position. It doesn't matter. And so when I left the market, he was still sitting there, and I was like, so, hey, tell me, are you traveling? He's like, yeah. He's like, I'm from Portland. And I was like, I just moved down here from Oregon from last year. You know, he's like, yeah, I drove down. My car broke down, and he's been hitchhiking since Santa Fe. And I didn't ask him where he was going. Maybe I probably should have asked him where he was going. But I was like, here, I gave him $20. He's like, oh, God, oh, hell, you know, God bless you, you know. Grateful, appreciative. And he's like, yeah, I slept outside last night out on the ground. It's cold. It's cold here. And I said, hold on just a sec. And I went over to the van, and because I couldn't remember if I gave the last one away or not. And I said, I'm not going to get your hopes up or nothing, but hold on just a sec. And I went out and over, and I was like, oh, okay, there it is. And then I went back and gave it to him. And he's like, yeah. And he said something else about the ground being cold. And I was like, I'll be back. So I went back to see, and there, lo and behold, there was a hammock. So hopefully he'll get to sleep up off the ground tonight, maybe next to a stream, find someplace nice. People camp all over the place around here. There's squatters all over the place around here. It's kind of I don't know. I kind of like the way people live around here. You know, the folks out on the mesa, they got all their, you know, mud houses, and they got like volunteer days where groups go to certain individuals' houses and help with projects and stuff like that. And I'm just like, to me, that's what people need to be doing in their own communities. You know, it's hard because I understand. I've lived in big cities my whole entire life. People get in their routines, you know. They get in their routines, and now it's football season, so whether kids play it, you know, people are watching it, they're in that routine. So, you know, people aren't thinking about spirituality, and I think some people are stressed out about, you know, they aren't going to be able to buy their family's affections with Christmas presents, so what? You know? Which is good for the people that make homemade stuff. It's good for us. Us people that make homemade stuff, you know, we a lot of times we didn't have nothing growing up, so we had to make our own presents and stuff like that. I remember I made a cribbage board out of manzanita. That was rad. How come that wasn't a family heirloom to Jeremiah? What are you gonna do? I went out, I was like 12, it was with Tom Carl. So it's when we lived on Manzanita, so I was like 9, 10, 11, and he took me out in the woods, and we looked for the right proper manzanita bush, the right size that I could cut and then cut in half, and then I even drilled the holes for the little brass hinges. He helped me make the little brass pegs. Got to do the drill press to do all the holes, you know. I was like 10 years old. I made him a cribbage. It was cool too. I mean, because I was always that kid. Let me do it. No, let me do it. No, let me do it. No, you're too little. No, let me do it. No, you're a girl. Yeah. I hated that shit, man. Hated it. Anyway. How people treat you is they're telling you how they are, man. They are. And people's true colors are really coming out right now. They really, really are. And I understand. I know what it's like to be disappointed by people's behavior. And I know what it's like to look in people's face and see nothing but disappointment. I know what that's like too. Because I made a lot of mistakes in my life because they were right for me. You know, but to the other person, you made a mistake. And most of these people, evidently, my mistakes are unforgivable because I don't get a lot of calls. You know, I have a lot of one-sided conversations. So, how far into this am I? Because I want to... You made a carrot cake today? Ooh, I should show you guys my caramel high. Hi! Hello, the fifth world. Did I say carrot cake? I said carrot cake because I read it and I'm a stoner. My good old pampered chef. I make some badass shit. So this is my caramel. Big old slab of caramel. It's so good. It just tastes good. It does. And you know what's even better? It feels good too. Come on, look. Do you see it?
Yeah, I do.
It's up. The moon just came up.
Oh,
Did you see it? I just saw it when I walked into the kitchen.
it's not, there's no one outside.
Here. Let me help you. Can you see it? Come over here. A little more. See it?
Oh, wow. That is neat, Margie.
Isn't that cool?
That is.
Is your foot getting sleepy?
Margie's not pretty bad.
Alright.
Margie,
What?
that is. Can you take a picture of the pen?
Yeah, I'll do it when I'm done.
Oh.
I don't know if I'm talking to myself or not, but I gotta finish talking to myself and then I'll take a picture of the moon, Ma. I don't remember where I was. So I did not meditate today. I don't know. I did get to lay in the sun. This is like when we moved here, it was so cool because that's what I was talking about. I wish I could tell how long I'm recording. 21:52. Okay. So at 22 minutes. This place is healing me. And what I mean by that is the energetics in the location of where I am in conjunction with the nature that is around here. Because like when I first moved here, I was like, oh God, there's no trees. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm like in a plain. I'm in desert. There's like these pinion things, these pine trees, but these I'm not, no, because I had these gorgeous, beautiful trees. Oh my, the trees, but I carry them with me. See, I carry this stuff with me. So the good parts of things. I try to leave the negative parts there, but like the feeling of how I feel and the smell and things like that, and the squirrels and all that stuff. I miss the squirrels. There's ground squirrel things around here, but they sit out in the sun with their big old bellies. They're different. So I was born in San Bernardino, California. And that's on the 34th parallel. 34th parallel. You okay? All right. And when we moved up to Redding, California, which is on the 40th parallel. And then when I went to the Air Force, I was stationed at Offutt, which was on the 39th parallel. Omaha's on the 39th, 40th parallel, but I got a plus or minus 2 rule that comes into play. See, because people, it's like pockets of people in cities are there based on their energetics, because that's where they want to be. Like attracts like. But I never wanted to be there. See, the thing of it is just like we always live places, and I got assignment to be there. See, I got one of those stories that's really weird. Like my job changed. I was supposed to go one direction, and then something happened, and I ended up in Omaha because I was supposed to be in an entirely different job, but universe has a way of, because it's all by bloodlines. So anyway, I ended up on the 40th parallel, and then I thought I wanted to be in Oregon based on what Oregon was in the late 80s, early 90s. I didn't take into account what it was today, and I went out there and I was like, oh yeah, it's great, it's good enough. And when I found out the reality of what it was, Benny, go lay down. Don't make bad choices, Benny. Benny, don't make bad choices. Go lay down. Benny, a good boy, Marge. Get up there, big boy. Good boy, Benny.
Good boy. There.
Right, Benny, Marge. So, I was like, this is me making choices. I end up in Oregon. It didn't work out. So, and then as circumstances played out, just shy of a year ago, well, no, as of yesterday's when we left Oregon for Arizona a year ago, I was like, all right, God, you know, up, because I knew we had to move from like the beginning of August. And they said, okay, you got to be out by October or middle of maybe July. End of July. And it's like, all right, you got to be out by August 1st. And I was like, all right, God, I don't know where you want us. Where are you going to go? I had over the last few years, so I didn't go no places much. I'd save like a few $1,000s. I was like, all right, you know, I had a big red truck and it was starting to act up. It was a miracle in itself that I made it to Arizona with the 4 dogs and the cat, honestly, because it died when I got there and I never got it back again. It's a miracle. That would not have been fun for me. Anyway, so thank you, God. So I was like, wherever you want us, and then we end up here. Long story short, we end up here in northern New Mexico. You know what the trippy thing about that is like I'll drive to the coffee shop in this morning. I've been driving down the road and I start weeping because of the love in my heart that comes from me from living in a place that feels good. I've been uncomfortable for most of my life. I've had to modify my behavior to fit in to 95% of the social interactions that I've been in just to go along. Because I'm Heyoka. I'm contrarian. So I see problems in everything. We're not really endeared. People don't like, you know, they don't like Heyoka a lot. So it's been lonely. I'm 47. I'll be 48 next April. And I'll be driving down the road through the trees, and the thumbnail on this talk is on one of those drives from one of those routes. And I just point and shoot. I don't look at what I'm looking at. I know where the button is. I hold out the window. I go, snap. And then all right, that's a good one. Thanks, God. Thanks. And then, and it takes my breath away. And this is like we're on the 36th parallel, I believe, but it's still in my plus or minus 2. So it's right in congruence from where I came into this life, into this incarnation. You know, it's all energetics. It's all frequency. You know, literally, you get a job. How many people get a job because they have to get a job? And it's just like you put your resume out, and whoever lets you, okay, that's how I always did it. There are lots of places that I would not apply for. PayPal is one of them because Elon Muskrat started it. I don't want anything to do with that fucker, so I'm not going to work in any place having to do with him. You know, but I've always thought like that. I won't do things out of principle, or the things I do out of principle, people are like, whoa! So, I forgot what I was talking about because I let the music carry me away. We're all frequency. So I would go into a work environment. I can get along with anyone. We moved around a lot. I was the new person a lot. You know? I'm empath. I've been funny. People like funny. People, if you can be ugly, you could be dumb, you could be fat and lazy. But if you know, but it'd be funny and nobody looks at that other stuff. I got my sense of humor. Ma, you got jokes sometimes. Sometimes Mom would say things and I wouldn't find them very funny. But now she says things and we laugh and laugh and laugh. Mama.
Yeah.
So, but these people are not necessarily my frequency, you know? I've been looking for my same frequency tribe my whole life, and I find pockets of them here. I'm hard to know. Ask Nora Beth. She'll tell you. You know? It was kind of cool that I got to hear a couple talks today. One, you know, I listen to people's talks that I don't subscribe to their channel to, because I just hate notifications. But I actively if you go watch them, they're always in your feed, so you can find them. But this one guy, he's a Virgo, and it's like he's the opposite of me, but I totally appreciate his perspective. Like, he's all the stuff that makes my third eye twitch, and it'd probably be really hard for me to hang out with him. It'd probably be really hard for him to hang out with me too. It would. He did like ayahuasca for 10 years and all this stuff. It still his spectrum is where it is, and mine is where our mine is. And so, although I still appreciate his perspective, you know, and that's the thing, is Aries. And I think a lot of people might figure out with all this Aries energy, see, that's what this energy comes up for. So everybody gets a little taste to feel like what everybody else feels like. Everybody gets a taste. So you feel this energy, what are you going to do with it? A lot of people are going to go feel good. They're going to feel good. And they're like, yeah, I feel good. Let's go out and have some beers. And they're going to overshoot the mark. They don't got no discipline. They're not using it in practical ways. I used to do that. Yeah. Till I learned about energy and frequency. Yeah. So, dang it, I love this song, but it's totally distracting my head. It's another good one. See, a lot of people are finding their inner warrior. I never lost mine. People are like, Marge, could you subdue that a little bit? And I'm like, no! Then I expand. So, what was I saying, though? And then I'm going to wrap it up because I've been running my mouth too long. But finding little pockets here, you know. And I don't need a lot of attention. I don't. I actually prefer to fly under the radar. I do have a lot of one-sided conversations. Nah, that's not true. I get answers every now and again. No, I got my go-tos also. That I got my people. I got my guy, my dad figure, Mr. Iski. He calls about. He'll be like in a tractor, taking apart like the big. Oh no, in the combine, the big blades, and he does this all himself, cause he's freaking brilliant. He's a mechanical genius, you know. And I got to learn from him a lot of stuff, and so. He'll be like in it, and he'll still answer the phone for me. The only time he doesn't answer the phone is if he's like firing, because he goes down the fire range and fire shoots, you know. Now he's the kind of guy that it's like, dude, if everybody was like him, that carried a gun, but it ain't that world anymore. You got all these nut jobs have guns, and so now it's like, I don't know. It's becoming a weird place, but. The thing of it is, people are finding their security inside. People are finding their same freak tribe, you know? Yeah, God dropped me right into a place that I can go down to the coffee shop at any given time. And there's usually, now we're coming in the winter months, people are saying, oh yeah, they come here all year round. But I'm seeing there's days that people aren't there. But usually, if timing is divine. I mean, timing is always divine, but if it's supposed to be, then there's always somebody to freaking have a cup of coffee with, you know. I don't need a lot in life, and that I mean, and just the drive on the way to the coffee shop, and just, you know, soothes the soul. I've been soothing my own self. Sometimes not doing a very good job for years and years, and It just feels good here. And I hope and I pray. It's just so cheesy. I pray. I pray that everybody finds their place on this planet where they